Hello and happy evening.
High five.
We are the High Five Club with Lester Bailey. I don't have my background. Lester Bailey, Kelly Chison, and Samantha Glass.
Yeah,
So awesome Tuesday, I think. Is it Tuesday, Kelly? I don't know what day we're
it
on.
is Tuesday.
Okay, I need to use some Zoom backgrounds here because my lipstick came off because I thought it was Friday. But there you go. Now it looks like I'm wearing lipstick, kind of.
Just like high five at night, and I'm yawning. Good night, everyone.
Good night. We're at 7:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but that's okay. No worries. We're working hard. We have a right to be tired. Um,
Yeah,
so for everyone watching, Kelly, can you give us the title again? Sorry, I'm trying to find it.
absolutely. Every word counts. What we say matters.
Oh my gosh.
Why?
Yeah.
Why, Samantha?
Every word counts because you can. Okay, so I'm saying this because we're in the social media era, or the social media times during COVID, and the way you express yourself is mostly in writing. Like, let's just say that right now it's mostly in writing, or it's on Zoom. But when it's in writing, you have to be careful the words that you select when you're trying to express yourself. And if you're not careful, you could really say something that really could hurt somebody or could hurt you. You might be saying something bad about yourself, not realizing it.
Right.
So,
Interpret what's left for interpretation.
right, right. So I was just saying to Kelly before the show that, I'm starting to, like, I always used to think, oh gosh, I'm over interpreting things, but like the more that I am in my profession, the more I interpret every little word and try to figure out what was the meaning behind what that person was trying to express. So from a personal development perspective, because we are tying this into what we do here, it really, really does matter. You can say, like I'll say something like, I'm one of those people that will type something out. I'm like, hang on, I need to read that out loud. And then I will be like, ooh, that sounds so negative. And I'll have to retype it again and again. I don't know if you guys out there that happens to you, but it happens to me because look, I'd rather not be a keyboard warrior and just just write and then press
warrior.
yeah, keyboard warrior. So yeah, be mindful. Like, I check to make sure that what I'm putting out there is a representation of what I really feel about myself or what I really feel about someone. I'm being mindful not to hurt them or hurt myself accidentally. So that's just kind of where I'm coming from on that, Kelly.
I love it. I think it's interesting when when we communicate in person or even virtually, like here, you're able to see people's expressions. You're able to see their body language. There's a lot of things that you can watch, even the tone of their voice and their response, that you can see to help you gauge how what you're communicating is being absorbed, internalized, and really how it's taken. And I think, why do words count? Why, do words matter? Does it matter what we say? And how do you pay attention to what you write? And really understanding because when you put it out there in writing, it's really having an understanding of what is the purpose of what you're writing. Is the purpose to engage people in conversation? Is it because you can put something out there, get people engaging, and you can put something out there that is going to, it's writing the lines, and someone that it could offend some and it could offend others. So you're encouraging maybe a hopefully respectful banter, right? Depending on how you write it.
Right.
It makes a difference. I don't know. I think words are very, very valuable, and words are very, very important. And some people are very careless with their language, and they're not as thoughtful with their language for a number of reasons, positive or negative. And part of living and functioning at our best It's learning to communicate to the best of our ability. And, you know, I don't know, but communication depends on being able to clearly communicate the message and the purpose you're trying to get across.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't like, I mean, even with your paralegal, I mean, can you imagine if you weren't clear in your communication? And I mean, great if you're in front of the judge or in front of whoever talking, but you have to document.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. In my profession, yes. Like I'm just thinking, I'm comparing it to what I'm doing now also in law school, and literally every word does count. Sections can be the same and one word is different. And they have different, different punishments depending on that one word. So definitely in law, I see that. But I see that out here and again on social media. Someone will say something looking for a response, and then two people are conversing, or more than two people are conversing. And then when the hard question is asked, the person stays silent and doesn't say anything at all. Yeah. And silence it can be a terrible thing, right? It's and sometimes you overdo it, right? When you shouldn't be overdoing it, you really are, you're causing negativity, or you're not being productive, or we kind of talked about this yesterday. When you look at you want to, like we were talking about judging yourself, comparing yourself to others. Well, yeah, look, in this situation here, the proper words can help others. And there's a way to give someone their feedback in a way that isn't like, oh, well, you suck. Like there's a way to say things. And I think the problem is, yes, Lester's here. The way to
high
say
five, Lester.
High five, Lester. The way to say things. High five, Lester. We're talking about words and how words can affect you. So I'm going to finish off this thought and go over to Lester. But if you can say something in a way that can help someone else, as opposed to saying it in such a negative fashion, you can make the difference to their life, right? You can really change their day. Like I find when I see something so negative on social media, I'm like, oh, that was a terrible thing to say. Did this person not read what they said before they before they press send? Or did they just type it out of anger, or type it because they're just like, I just want my word to get in there? To be careful, you can never imagine who's on the other side of a screen and how it affects them. So words matter. Dr. Bailey, you're muted.
Sorry, the mute moment. Words are always going to matter to almost everybody that's ever going to hear them, because how you say it and what you say makes a big difference. Get out the way when somebody's in trouble is great. Get out the way to someone else, depending on your tone, will change the difference in how people perceive you. You have to look at every day how I value people. How do you value someone? By what you tell them, how you make them feel. What's that feeling inside of them that's going to make them jump higher? How many ways can you value the other people that are around you? By saying kind things, nice things, by lifting them up instead of kicking them down to the ground. You always have to think of ways how we value ourselves. It shows up in our wording. How do we do things? Especially with our words and our understanding and our tones. That's how people see the value in what pushes you further. How do you encourage someone with the words that you say? It's all about the values that you want to actually live by. How are you going to do it? You have to value yourself every day. That way you'll have more empowering speech. You'll have more empowering thoughts. You'll make people actually say, I can do this, instead of tearing them down just because they made it further than you. They still need the same encouragement, no matter what level that they are in life. Everybody needs a "that boy" or "you're doing your very best." However that you say it, we all need it at every stage, from the from the Elon Musk of the world all the way down to the little 3-year-old that's like, I want to turn around and be just like him. Your words matter. And that's how we always look at your words matter. So that's all I have to say at the moment.
Because you're like, I love it, because language, it's how we communicate with the world, right? It defines our identity. It allows us to express our history, our culture, our identities, if it's our human rights, defending our human rights, if it's participating, I'll say, in society. I mean, you mentioned, socially, on social media, when everything now is, we're not really in person. There's so much texting, there's so much writing going on. How are we communicating? People need to pay attention to this long before now, but there's, there's looking at all the functions of language, right? We have expressive language. We have language for interpreting things, interpreting perspectives and opinions and views. We have words that are for function, for controlling things. We have language for discovery, language for remembering, language for memories, language for creativity.
No, I'm about to put your burger up there now. Go ahead and fry
All
it.
of these things. So it's it's important. It's intrinsic to how we express ourselves and how we communicate. It's values come out of expression, beliefs come out of expression, inspiration comes out of expression, customs. It's important. It's important. I think, funny enough, willy-nilly, people can just text something. Oh, it doesn't matter. Like, I just texted it. It's whatever. But in the personal development space, in the growth mindset space, if you're living with intention, you're being very thoughtful of how you go to sleep at night. What are your thoughts right before you go to bed? How are you waking up in the morning? What does your habitual environment look like? How are you an active architect in your life? Well, if you're doing all of these things for your health and for your wealth, and personally and professionally, how does it not, it makes sense that we would pay attention to how we write and how we communicate, and not in some areas, not picking and choosing, but in all of our areas. So what, outside in 90-degree BS weather?
I can't even. That is amazing. I can't even. This is awesome.
He's muted.
And he's muted. And he's telling us how amazing he is outside in that beautiful weather, and it's daytime.
It's not 90 degrees. It's only 80 degrees.
Well, I sit here freezing.
Some of us have to survive in different environments.
Yeah, that must be hard. You high-fiving.
High fiver.
High-fiving heckler from Arizona. Well, what's funny is, one time a while ago,
it's your words.
It's the words. Lester, you, especially as an officer, well, I mean, we could all come up with a million ways. One time we were talking about this, we always come up with different things to talk about in road trips, and we love road trips. Ours seem to be really far. So there's a lot of hours and a lot of things that come up, but at some time or another, we talk about, like, how, words and things like this, and talk about communicating. And Eric's like, think of directions. If he was like, I'm like, you could kind of say the same thing. And of course, being the engineer, he's given me specifics. Okay, so Cal, if I told you to go up the street and give you whatever, hang a right and whatever, are you really going to find it? And of course, I'm like, okay, stupid, no. Just jokingly with my husband, but it's like, no, you need to go. It's the second set of stoplights. Take here, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, like, there's specifics. You're specific with your communication, specific with your words. It's why instructions, when you're putting things together, there is a bazillion steps to do it. Why? People need the bazillion steps to do it. The words matter. And they matter in every aspect, as far as I'm concerned.
So what are we going to do with our words? How will we start showing the world that what we're saying has true meaning? Remember, if thoughts are things, what are you thinking? You've often heard me ask that question. And I'm not going to stop asking that question, because it's pertinent to everything that you do. Kelly says your words are your thoughts, and your thoughts become your words. How important is that? How do you show up to the table in your lifetime? How do you show up to others? We had a course as we were talking about it on the what ifs and how you really need to take a once a year, although we do it more than once a year, evaluation test. Ask your friends, your closest friends, when they see you, when they hear you, what do they think about what you're saying to them? And don't be afraid to take the answer. If it's good, bad, or indifference, it either is going to improve you or improve you even better than where you were, or it's going to tell you who you are actually showing up as. Do the evaluation. As you see, the team is here, it's they're the best of the best. But when they're showing up as the best of the best, some days you may not feel that you are. But if you use those words, I'm not doing my best, you are now hurting who you actually are. You actually have to tell the story in which you want to hear and to believe, and let and let everything else just fall to the side.
Right.
Negativity is easy. We've been living in a negative life since the day you were born. That positive feeling is up to you.
I love it. I love it. All right. Final words. Samantha.
Final words. I actually had a poem about words.
What?
You-
Yay.
I did, but hang on. Ah! Okay, so every word counts, he said and repeated with emphasis. Every word counts. I chose to remain silent, refrain, abstain. Silence counts too, I thought to myself. In silence, disconnected. Yeah, every word counts. But how do you count for the needless words, the empty words that shouldn't be there? And I'm going to end it there because there's a bad word after that. And it says to SHUT up. But words count, right? Every word, whether it's positive or negative or no words at all. Think about the words. Like we say, think before you speak. Think before you're a keyboard warrior and you press send. Thank God for the delete button.
Right.
Those are my final thoughts.
So am I next?
Oh, sure.
Sure, but we need to know if you're standing in the water.
No, it's nice. It's not frozen. But listen, we can't say it any better. Your words count, no matter whom's listening to it. When you're having that conversation in the mirror, you hear everything that you're saying. Your body doesn't know whether you mean it or not, no matter who you're saying it to. So be careful of the words that you're using because it's for you. Be the best at all the times, but remember, your words count.
I'm going to say your words become your actions and your actions become your habits. So something to pay attention to. That's it. Pay attention to it. Every word counts. High five.
High five, everyone. Oh, there it is.